I've been lost, I've been found, I've been traded like a dollar on the street. Passed around, loved and hated, now I'm jaded, can't you see? There is a lot like me out there, yeah, there's a lot like me out there. Who never had a shot no matter what they did, who never had a chance just to be a kid. So we drink a lot and we sleep all day, try to hide all of our problems away. When the sun comes up, we'll just throw it all away. I guess there's no other way out, so just stay out. Gonna do this on my own. You're gonna see how it plays out when I break out, when I find a new way home. Find a new way home. Moved down, got my own place, called my dad. He said, son, are you okay? Yeah, there's a lot of things I wish I said. All these emotions filling up my head. The thought of losing you just makes me sad. So many memories I wish we had. Now I work all day and I stay up late. Try to think of all the things I'd say when the sun comes up. Let's just take it day by day. I guess there's no other way out, so just stay out. Gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna see when it plays out, how I make out when I find a new way home. Gonna find a new way. Oh, is there any other way to answer all my questions? Do I have to leave you lying all alone like a dollar on the street? I guess there's no other way out, so just stay out. Gonna do this on my own. You're gonna see how it plays out when I break out, when I find a new way home. Gonna find a new way. Find a new way home. Kick it! Wake up in the morning, time to check that mix. It was rocking last night, today it sounds like shit. So you put it in a folder and send it to the boys. 'Cause they always make it happen, and what's that noise? It's Tuesday night! Keep it tight! Let's go!
Hello, party people. What was my thing? It's ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Welcome back to What's That Noise? We are.
How many intros
in
are
it.
we going to have?
Yeah, right. We just got intros on intros. We're gonna run the outro. Thanks for coming back. Yeah. Yeah, I hope everyone liked the, if you were with us last week, you saw us tweaking up the intro, and there it was. You heard it today with the final mix in there, Joe's video edit, us being goofballs,
It happens frequently.
Yeah. So welcome back. Good to see you. It's Tuesday night. We are in the building as usual. We're going to work on a tune today. So the video you saw was, again, Attention. We talked about Attention last week. Attention was my band for many, many years. And we broke up a handful of years ago, but recently I've decided to kind of with the somewhat original lineup, we went back into the studio. We're working on an old song from a kind of we had a record called Yeah, I'm Fine that came out in Japan only because, I mean, quite frankly, we kind of didn't like it. but they wanted to put it out and they wanted to bring us on tour. And so we were like, okay, awesome. But we never released it in the U.S. because we just kind of felt like we missed the mark on it. So we are going back and re-recording an old song. So I figured since we started talking about Attention a little bit last week, and we'll be back in Flowers tomorrow working on said old song, I figured I'd show you a little bit more Attention. So that video that you saw is a song called Tattered Youth from what was the final record that we put out, also named Tattered Youth. That was kind of the single, if you will. Brad made a great video. We were just talking about that. Brad making a video in a pretty early version of iTunes, or iMovie rather. And it was a total pain in the nuts for him. And he was just recalling how much of a pain in the balls it was to make it. But it came out great. We were super lucky. We asked a bunch of friends and fans to do the thing with the cardboard sign and pick a lyric. And we were kind of like, shit, I hope this works. I hope we get enough people to submit. And like, we got it all. We got all the lyrics. We had extra photos. We literally had to pick and choose. And me and Brad did a podcast a while back, his podcast. What's that called? Just Stratosphere Media podcast?
Yeah, just Stratosphere Podcast.
Yeah, Stratosphere Podcast. You can check it out. It was a two-parter with me if you want to hear me ramble even more than you do on Tuesday nights. But we were talking about how like it was really cool because we asked people to pick lyrics and make a sign and do the thing, and people did. And not only did they send in photos, but often a bunch of those people sent in kind of a little background story about like why they chose the lyric. And it was just really, it was cool. It was a really cool thing. And we made a video for essentially for free, other than however many hours Brad logged in iMovie, which he was not paid for. But it's the music business. You don't get paid.
That's how it is.
That's how it is, right? You're working on spec not to get paid. That's how it goes. But yeah, so that one was kind of the one video that we made for the last album, like I said, called Tattered Youth. All that stuff is on Bandcamp. It's all free. I believe it's just attention.bandcamp.com.
Yes.
There are some other Attentions now on Bandcamp, but you'll find us. I think you'll see it. If you see Tattered Youth, that was the last record, and I think there's 3 full lengths up there, maybe the EP. There's a bunch of stuff up there. It's all free. Take it if you want it. I'd be happy to have anyone hear it, especially at this point in the game. So, yeah. So speaking of Attention and that whole thing, we like I've told you, we've been working on an old song over at Flowers the last couple of Wednesdays. We'll be back in there tomorrow. And when we first started talking about KJ, Chris, our guitar player, was kind of the guy who kind of spearheaded this whole thing and was like, man, I think it'd be cool to get that lineup back together. Pick a song from the record that's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of an unknown record unless you're Japanese, because like I said, it did not come out here. It was like, so let's pick one, let's do it, and then then that game happens of like, okay, which one should we do? And 4 people have 4 different choices, and I want to do this one. I definitely don't want to do that one. Well, I want to do that one. It was just like, and this is why we broke up. I got it. But yeah, we did land on one, a song called Locked Away Again that we are currently working on. But oddly enough, as we were discussing all that, David, the drummer, he sent me a text and was like, dude, it'd be cool to do a new one. You should write a new one. And it was kind of like, this is interesting. Because I've said basically since Attention broke up, people have asked me like, are you writing songs? Are you blah, blah, blah? And like, not really, I'm not really anymore. And often people would ask why. And it was like, well, I feel like no band to write for. Like, I don't know. I don't have a reason. Like, I'm not one of those songwriters, frankly, for better or for worse, that's like compelled to write a song every day or whatever. I was for a long time, but like I said, when the band went away, I felt like the reason kind of went away. So I just kind of stopped writing songs. I would, diddle around a little bit here and there and come up with stuff, but never really like, okay, I'm going to write something, lyrics, the whole deal, see it through and do it, So Dave was like, you should write a new song. And I kind of started thinking about that. I'm like, wow, I've been telling people for years, like the reason that I don't write songs anymore is because I don't have a band or I don't have a reason to. I guess Dave just gave me a reason. So I kind of took it as, I was, flattered and just like stoked, like, oh man, he'd like to hear a new song. That would be interesting. But I also kind of took it as a challenge, like, I've been saying for years that I don't write anymore because there's no reason. I wonder if that's true, kind of. Like, I wonder if I've forgotten how to do it or whatever. And when Dave brought it up, it felt like, okay, well, there's a reason. So there goes that whole excuse. So what do you...
Down the gauntlet.
Yeah, kind of. What do you got, JT? So I started really thinking about it. I started playing a little guitar that night and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, I can still do this, I think. I want to give it a shot, but I don't want to get stuck in the like, wow, I haven't written a song in forever, so I'm going to really overthink it and really work on it forever. And I'm going to spend fucking 2 months trying to write a song. No. So I decided, like, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to give myself 24 hours to write entirely and make a demo of a song, period. And after 24 hours, that's it. And I also, because I figured this could potentially be a demo for if the old version of Attention wants to record a new song, this will be the demo for that. So I didn't want to get too crazy or too intricate. I didn't want to go crazy with drum parts or bass. Like, I didn't want to put so much thumbprint on it that the guys in the band were like, well, what the fuck what do I do? Like, you already did it or whatever. So I try to keep it pretty simple. Wow, Dustin talking about state. We'll come back to that. We were just talking about that. Literally just talking about that before the show. Yeah, I didn't want to get too crazy. I didn't want to like put so much imprint on it that, like I said, the other guys wouldn't really be able to find a way in because I've already finished the song or whatever, So I did it. I wrote a tune. I demoed a tune. I did it, and I think pretty much 24 hours. I kind of mixed it as I went, which was not really a mix. I just slammed some plugins on it, and I sent it to the dudes, and everyone was very positive, super impressed. I sent it to Brad. I sent it to the band guys. I sent it to Joe, and everyone was like, dude, all right, still got it, like not bad. I sent it to my friend Norman, and oddly enough, he's like, usually when I go dormant for like 7 or 8 years, my voice gets worse. He's like, your voice seems like it got stronger somehow. Like, he was kind of like, I'm confused, but awesome, so. But anyway, I think what we're going to do tonight is mix this demo that I'm referring to. The song, I guess, the working title, maybe the final title, is When the Medicine Runs Out. We'll get into it in a little bit, but yeah, Attention is interesting, and this song and the Tattered Youth song that you heard all kind of ties together. So like the concept of Attention, even with the name and everything, kind of started with me as like, I wrote a bunch of songs and started demoing on myself. I was playing drums in another band for years and years. I was a drummer. I always played guitar and played other things, but high school through, I don't know, early 20s, mid 20s, whatever, I just played drums in every band I was in, basically, because I just kind of ended up being the best drummer in the available pool. Even bands that I like tried to join as guitar or bass or whatever, even in high school, it was like, oh, cool. And like we'd practice, and then after practice, I'd be like, our drummer kind of sucks. And then like someone would be like, oh, well, can you do it better? I'm like, yeah, I can actually, And then like when we would try that, and then people would be like, oh shit, you are better. Okay, you're the drummer. Like the best drummer has to be the drummer, even if he wants to be the bass player or whatever. Luckily now I'm in a band with the best drummer in the world, so I'm in no danger of needing to worry about that anymore. But yeah, so it started with me. I wrote a bunch of songs. I came up with the name, the whole thing, and then I kind of kidnapped a couple guys from the band that I was playing drums in. We kind of had mutiny on the ship, and we started getting excited about our new band while still playing in somebody else's band. Somebody else didn't really like that much, as you can imagine. So before you know it, we were kind of out of that band, and we decided to launch Attention. And then Attention became a real band and had a lineup and wasn't just me thing or whatever. But even within that, as the band kind of progressed, once you get to about the record called Through the Wire, it started to become a hybrid again, where it was a band, there was a full lineup, but not always everyone was playing on all the songs. There's a couple songs on that record that I played the drums on, or I played the bass on, played a little more than just guitar and sang. Just because kind of the nature of that record, we did that record in 30 days. It was a whole thing. We streamed the whole thing for 30 days. What year was that, Brad? You remember?
Tattered Youth? Yeah, it came out. Yeah, it was 2010.
Through the Wire.
Okay.
Through the Wire.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm jumping for. We had a couple before Through the Wire, but Through the Wire, we did a stream. We decided we were going to do this whole record in 30 days. We started January 1st. We released the record for free February 1st. That was our goal. We hit the goal. But because of that constraint, other dudes had day jobs. Other dudes got stuff to do. I don't have a day job. I don't have shit to do, full honesty. So I was there every day, so I ended up playing some drums and bass and blah, blah, blah. The next record was even more so that way. By the time we got to the next record, the band hadn't officially split up yet, but pretty darn close. I ended up playing drums on the entire record. We had a buddy named Ian play bass on some of the tunes. I played bass on that Tattered Youth song. That Tattered Youth song was co-written with my buddy Jake Rose, who's down in Nashville now. And he's the only other dude that's on that tune. He sang a bunch of backgrounds and stuff, but I'm playing drums, bass, guitars, the whole thing. As far as I remember, maybe Eric played on it too, but I don't think so. I think that one was just me, and at the time I was partners with this guy named James in the studio, so James engineered and produced. I played kind of everything. Yeah, and then the next record, like I said, kind of the same deal, and now here we are kind of full circle. The guys asked me to write a new song. Here I am back to like making demos on my own. So yeah, we're going to go through that tune a little bit tonight, but not quite yet because we got to do Brad's thing like we do every week. I don't know. We were really discussing this last week. There was some great... Brad's Burner, I think, is the front runner, was the front runner for like what we were going to call his corner. I was thinking about that today, like which one was the winner. I was also remembering that for a long time, Brad's kind of nickname in the biz was Rad Brad, the band dad, because he kind of just took care of all the bands, man. He did all the business. He did all the shit that everyone else wasn't smart enough to do, kind of. Did you come up with that?
Yeah, Lake Avenue gave me that nickname.
Yeah. Joe's old band, Lake Avenue, hit him with that nickname, and it stuck. Zach picked it up. Zach, who I played with for years, just became the thing. Rad Brad, the band dad, because he was. You'd be like, Brad, we need to do this. I don't know how to do it. And he's like, okay, I got it. You just do it.
Book the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff. When you need someone to go be the bad cop, you call Brad. You need someone to get some shit done, you call Brad, because dudes in bands are lazy. Brad is not. Yeah, right. When it's time to do some work other than make music.
So why do I get paid nothing?
Well, again, it's the music business. One of these days, it's all really gonna be worth it, bud.
Getting there, man. Real close.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have Brad's Burner without all your hard work. So we're gonna put Brad in the hot seat right now. He's gonna give us his weekly catch up. I have no idea what he's about to tell us. We're gonna all find out together.
I don't think it's anything too dramatic. So
I hope it is.
New releases from last week. The one that really stood out to me that I was really excited about was the Juliana Theory released an album called A Dream Away.
Is that reimagined versions?
Yep, so It's one new song because they did sign a deal with Equal Vision. They've got a new record coming out.
Yep.
So it starts off with that song, and then it's reimagined versions of some of the classics. So I think there's 7 other songs from a couple of the past records, and it's actually really good. Sometimes that can just be like, filler kind of material, but obviously Brett is, really good at what he does.
Brett Dieter, front man. Yeah, my old band, The Stereo, toured with the Juliana Theory a bunch of times. Good dudes. Good band.
Yeah, and that's got like a ton of different vinyl variants coming out with it. I was lucky enough to get one of the first 100
Ooh.
of the first variant. So,
Nice one.
you know, sometimes you just sit in front of your computer long enough and
I got it.
magic happens.
Magic.
So that was my big new release for the week. You can check that out pretty much anywhere you listen to music. Also, there's a video. I think I'll probably pin it in the chat here in a little bit.
Cool.
It's pretty hilarious because people were like, it's such a departure from everything you've done. So they took that idea and were like, let's go the other direction with it. And they straight up were teasing like, we're going to release a black metal version of Top of the World, which was a song that was in like a Disney show or something.
Right.
And so they were teasing that, and the video comes out and it starts and it's like full on black metal. Like, it's hilarious. And then it just cuts to like these dudes in the woods, and the dude's wearing corpse paint and he's like dancing around to the actual song. It's pretty funny.
Funny. Hilarious.
Yep. Some cool album anniversaries falling in the past few days or this week.
All right.
Taking Back Sunday, Tell All Your Friends.
Yeah, I saw that.
19 years.
Wild.
So I'm hoping they do something big for the 20-year.
I'm hoping Flavor Flav comes back.
Yep.
Does some type of reunion video.
Yep. Yeah.
Totally.
Flip, flip.
Yeah. He's the coolest one.
Best looking.
Sorry, other dudes. Yeah. I'm on Fred's side, so fuck him.
Yeah. Further Seems Forever, The Moon is Down, 20 years.
Wow. Yep.
The first...
So that was still Chris from Dashboard.
That was
point.
Chris from Dashboard on lead vocals on that one.
Right.
And I think before that record came out, if I remember correctly, he had basically announced that he was quitting the band. Like before the record even came out.
He was going solo.
Yep. But that's a really good record. It's definitely stood the test of time, and it's it was one of those like kind of shifting from kind of your 90s emo into
Right.
a little bit more commercial, like bigger sounding stuff.
Right. I know you do.
Yeah.
Joe grew up on that 90s emo. I mean, really, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. You're the right age for it. I did too in a lot of ways. I can't front. Just a handful of years earlier than Joe, but
One that I was pretty excited to hear about, and I didn't realize this was happening yet, but 25 years ago, Super Drag, Regretfully Yours.
ooh, great album. One of my favorite albums was the album after that, Head Trip in Every Key by Super Drag, which is fantastic. Regretfully Yours is cool though. That's the big the single, Who Sucked Out the Feeling. Remember that song?
Which was on The Real World, which is
Yep.
the
Love the Super Drag.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
great band.
It's
How big is your brain too? You remember? Was it who did that?
How big is your
How big is your
brain?
brain?
I'm way off base.
Not sure. I don't think Super Drag, but
But yeah, that record, 96. Such a cool record. It was, I mean, really for me, like if I look at my Spotify Wrapped for last year, I mean, Super Drag was like my number 4 or
Wow.
something like that. So
I listened to
definitely,
Head Trip in Every Key a zillion times.
that's a cool record. My favorite of theirs is In the Valley of Dying Stars.
That's a little later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually,
Yep.
that actually turned 20 this year.
Okay.
So
Yep.
there's a special vinyl release that's out now for that as well. So super cool band. Really dig them a lot.
Yep. They're still
act-
going, right?
I think I
maybe?
saw something recently. I have no idea what it was. I'll have to go back and check.
I'd like to tour with them.
Well, and that was one thing too, like Early Attention and Super Drag, there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, like I said, I listened to that record a lot, so I wouldn't doubt that I probably accidentally or intentionally ripped a couple of moves off. Just saying. Yeah. Thanks, guys. All right.
And my last one for the week, 15 years ago, a record that I was involved in helping put out.
I know where you're going with this.
Johnny Rook, Between Love and Loss,
Right.
which I think for myself and for those guys is a pretty important record. And we're going to do something special for the anniversary of that. and the
Nice.
10-year anniversary of their last record their last studio record they put out, which is coming up in April. So
A lot of anniversaries, dude.
in a week or two, we'll be announcing a special release for the anniversary of that. So
Oh, cool. Excellent. Jay Rook.
Brad's burner.
that's what I got.
Brad's burner. We're going to put him back down on simmer. Brad was boiling. We're going to put him back down on simmer for a little bit, put him in the background.
I'll be back here taking calls.
Yeah, please do. Doing work. Rad Brad, the band dad. That's what he does.
That's so awesome that stuck.
I think it stuck. I remember saying
yeah,
it. I remember
it's been-
Zach saying it. It just became a thing for a little while.
Yeah, it's been around.
Looking at the chat here real quick. I got access to the chat because I'm, it's 2021 out in these streets. Dustin says, please mix Stay. And then he says, stay, stay, stay. We were talking about the song Stay right before this podcast because we were digging up the Tattered Youth video. I was checking to see where that was, if it was on my channel or not. It was not. I have some old Attention videos, about 14 years old, on my personal YouTube channel. One of which is some tour footage from when we toured in Japan, set to the demo of the song Stay. The long and short of Stay is I can't mix it. Maybe I could at this point, but we never really recorded it for real because that song kind of ended up in an almost lawsuit, for lack of a better way to put it. I co-wrote it.
Fargo.
Yeah, it didn't get to lawsuit status, but it damn sure was close. The long and short of it is I co-wrote that song with a guy. That guy then showed it to another guy that he also co-writes with who really liked it. And they kind of decided like, fuck it, we'll put it out. We'll do it. And I was like, whoa, I thought, we wrote it. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, well, we changed it. So we wrote it. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't change it. Like you changed a couple words or whatever. But the long and short of it was it became a thing. It was recorded by another artist. And then there was a big kind of, email trade. Lawyer got involved. Long story short was we didn't put it out and the other artist didn't put it out. So the song kind of died. It exists on my YouTube page. The other artist actually has a couple live versions of it on his YouTube page. Not going to give him a plug. But yeah, so that song isn't gonna be. We're not gonna mix that one because I ducked a lawsuit last time, and I'm not looking to try to find a lawsuit, however many years later for that one. But it was a good tune. It was fun. You can find it on YouTube. Like I said, it's a total demo from, I don't know, the video's from 14 years ago. The audio is probably 15 or 16 years old at this point. And it was a down and dirty demo. So you don't have to go look for it. In fact, you probably shouldn't. Anyway, let's see here. Diane's here. She said you started without me. Hey, we got a schedule, Diane. Get with it.
You got to get here early so you can see that intro.
Right. You missed the intro. Let's see. What else is she saying? We're just going to check the chat before we get into, mixed mode. She says, don't ask how much Soul Asylum I listened to last year. Okay, I won't. All right.
Thanks for making it easy.
No problem. I listened to a little bit myself. I guess I can say this now because I think that both Dave and Michael, I know Michael for sure. I believe Dave has mentioned it too in a couple of Zoom interviews or podcasts that he's been involved in or whatever. But Soul Asylum has begun work on writing a new album. We're doing some demos at Dave's house. We're over a couple of times a week. We're usually over at Dave's house right now working away. Dave's writing like a madman, as he always does. Last time I was there, he had 2 notebooks dedicated to the new record, kind of like the real sketch pad. This is where all the ideas kind of go, and then as the ideas get a little bit further along, they end up in this book, which I was real impressed. Dave's real organized. He's stoked. He's getting into it. We're writing away. She says last stream Dave spilled the beans. Cool. So as long as he let the cat out of the bag, I'm in good shape. I can't be talking that shit first. I got to talk it second or third. I'll let Michael and Dave lead the way. Yeah, but we're working away. Ryan and I and Janine have been over at Perner's quite a bit. We're about to do some drum tracks with Michael soon. We're kind of just starting to write and demo and see where it goes, but we can't, it's been a year. It's been a year of not playing. So even though we just put out a new record, we kind of feel like probably just going to have to do another record. because bands want to be bands. So we'll do what we can do, which is write and record until we can get back out and start melting faces again, which we're looking forward to, but we're not quite there yet. There's a bunch of plans in the works. And as soon as we got something that's firm, I will be glad to share those with you, but nothing is totally set in stone just yet.
Was there something that went on sale though, like an Illinois date? I thought I saw like
news to me. Possible.
Thought I saw like a Facebook event getting floated around.
Could be. There should be some stuff end of summer, fall for sure. Like I said, we're working on a bunch of stuff. As far as I know, nothing's official yet. Or if it is official, it's not announced yet, I guess. I don't know. I'm waiting patiently. Believe me, I want to go play. Everyone does, you know. But we don't want to be unsafe. We're working on the vaccine thing. That opens up around here real soon, so I'm sure we're all going to be getting needles in our arms soon. Joe's already one round in, right? Good one.
What's the date today?
Yeah, today it became available for
everybody.
Today or tomorrow.
Today.
Of course, Brandy and Diane know way more about the band than me.
They'll let you know when the show is. Dude.
I don't even know if there's a show booked, and fucking Diane's got tickets.
Hey,
so.
Hey, Diane, what time does Jeremy got to be there?
Yeah, can you put me on your guest list, because
that'd be great.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. We're, like I said, we're talking about a whole bunch of ideas for fall. I don't know what will and will not happen, but I just can't wait. I can't wait to play anywhere, anytime. Let's go. Yeah, some local stuff, some not local stuff. We're working on it. We're working on it big time. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I know more. Or I guess maybe you should let me know, because Diane and Brandy know they got tickets. There you go. Illinois, November, already have tickets. They're already selling tickets. So I guess there you go. There's something in November. What's that?
Zach could go.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll call up old Farmer Zach, see if he got the tractor running. Come up and
he'll have to, get some
leave a couple days early.
But,
leave a couple days early, throw that thing up and wrap it, take it out of tortoise. You know what I'm saying?
Get it cooking.
Oh God!
Come up with a pitchfork.
Get Jedediah to tend to the crops.
Yeah, get a little hay trailer for that 17 kids you got.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
I don't know if Zach's watching, but if he is,
If he is, he's pissed.
And shit,
he's laughing and he's pissed too.
Bring some fresh beans. I like those
I'm gonna just cough a little
garden
bit.
fresh green beans.
Yeah, man, bring us up some fruits and veggies from the farm, Zach, if you're coming up. Someone is texting the shit out of me right now. We'll look into that later. I'm on a stream right now, peeps. Come on, tighten up.
Gotta be
Probably
Baki,
Evan.
dude.
It's not as a 612 number. I could look over here, but I'm not gonna.
Baki only calls.
Yeah,
Baki's working. Baki just started a 2-month project with,
that's
with
right.
Government Mule. I believe
wow.
I can say that. Yep, they loaded in on Sunday, and I believe they started on Monday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, out at the power station. And I'm hoping to get back out to the power station soon, too, because Chuck Leah, who we've mentioned on the show and played a couple songs.
Love Chuck.
Chuck's talking about doing another one, and I hope and pray that it happens sooner than later. I can't wait. Me and Chuck and Evan just have an absolute blast out there. And
I'll come play tambourine or whatever, Chuck. Hit me up, dude.
yeah, right.
Best triangle player in town.
Right. Joe laid down a mean tambo at a pretty reasonable rate, too. I mean, not super
somewhat
cheap.
reasonable.
Yeah,
somewhat
it's somewhat reasonable.
Hey, you get what you
know.
pay for.
I'll
dude.
come out there and crack the whip apparently for free too.
Right.
so-
Yeah,
Right.
Brad.
Brad will come band at it. He just wants, food.
I can live with that.
Just feed him. Keep a roof over
French
his head.
fries usually do the trick.
Oh, Diane says she had to let Ryan know about it too. Dude, that's how it works. That is how it works in this band. Like the other day, I got an email talking to Diane now and Brandy. I got an email the other day that was like, "Hey, we're working on confirmations and blah blah blah, and things are looking good." And but it didn't say anything about where or when. So it's just like I had to then text Janine and be like, "Hey, the manager is talking about all these shows. Where might I be able to see any of that information?" And she's like, "Oh, if you go back like 64 emails, it's at the top of that chain." I'm like, "Oh, that's convenient. Cool. I'll do that. How about you screenshot it and send it to me?" And that's exactly what did happen, because Janine is awesome. And we were also talking about how we want to figure out how to get to Australia sooner than later, because both of us are trying to hug a koala bear within the next year or two.
There you go.
Australia is one place I have not yet toured. I've been lucky enough to be kind of most of the places that I've wanted to go. I really want to go to Australia. I've had a ton of friends that have toured there. Just looks wonderful. And I want to hug a koala bear. So we're working on it. It's been, the management has threatened to send us to Australia. I believe Janine said for like 4 years in a row or something. It just has not yet worked out, but we're going to start, taking our cup and scraping it against the bars. Like, let us out of here. Send us to Australia. I don't think they have a pandemic over there. Let's go over there and surf and,
Yeah,
hang out
shit,
with
they won't,
kangaroos.
they won't let you in right now.
Oh, shit.
You
We
gotta go in like the winter time here though, so that it's nice there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice there anytime. So,
Yeah, I
but
would literally go anytime.
Yeah, right. I would love to go. My grandmother's from Australia, so I do have some. I don't know if I still have family there. I definitely did have family. There's probably somebody over there. I've never been. My dad's been. My grandparents went a bunch of times. I grew up surrounded by like boomerangs and stuffed koala bears and kangaroos. And, right. They would always bring me back stuff from Australia. I've always wanted to go. So hopefully someday. I think we've talked about this before. I don't really like vacations. I like to go places on tour. I like to have a reason to be somewhere. Otherwise, I just get bored quickly. I'm not a good vacationer. My wife hates that because she would love to go on vacation. I just don't know how to do it. I like to travel, but I like to, go to a venue and rock and roll and then get paid. Vacations are expensive. Yeah. Tours, you get paid. I'll take a tour. Anyway,
it's good logic.
But I don't know. Maybe someday I will grow up enough to want to vacation, but not yet. I don't know. Like I said, I get bored quick. And it just seems like a lot of money. I go like, wow, that vacation is probably at least one bass, 2 microphones, and there's like I just start thinking about all the other shit I could buy that I'll have for longer than 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever. Probably not the right way to look at it, but it's the way I look at it. So I guess that's a pretty good catch up, right? I mean, I think 41 minutes of catch up, I'd say so. I did this song. It's in total demo form, like I said earlier. I didn't want to put too much of a thumbprint on anything because I wanted to leave room for the rest of the guys. If indeed we end up recording this song as a band, I wanted to leave some room for these guys to be able to do their thing. So I didn't go wild on drums, real basic patterns. Didn't play too much on the bass. I love bass, so I had to do a couple things. But it needs a mix for sure, just because. So we'll do that tonight. I guess before we do that, I probably just play it as it is.
Yeah, we gotta give it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I play it as it is, so you guys can hear kind of where I left off, what I sent to the fellas, and yeah, here it is. Basically, it's like I said. So I forced myself to do this in 24 hours. Probably the first real song that I really tried to write since the band ended, which was, when did Tattered Youth come out, Brad? I just always
12?
2012-ish. So yeah, 8-9 years since. I mean, like I said, I've done a couple little things here and there. I can't say I've written no songs, but I think this was, really probably the first like focused attempt at, okay, someone asked me to write something, let me do it. The whole deal, lyrics, the whole deal. Gave myself the 24-hour parameter because I didn't want to get stuck in the weeds of, it's got to be perfect, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. I even was talking to one of the guys tonight. I was like, yeah, we're going to mix the demo on the stream. And he's like, wow, you're like, I don't like, maybe like, well, I was surprised you want to show that, or it's just like a raw demo or whatever. It's like, again, I don't need to get stuck in perfect. It really doesn't matter. The intent is what it is. The lyrics are what they are. First song in a long time. I don't know if it's the best song ever. I'm sure it's not, but it's pretty good. I like it. I'm happy with it. For first time back on the horse in that many years, I feel pretty good about it.
I went back through our text message thread to find when you sent it to me.
Yeah.
And my response was, let me make sure I get this right here.
Yeah,
holy shit, that rules.
Well, there you go. Right. So if Brad likes it, I know I'm at least halfway there. I have the, mid 40-year-old man market locked, which is a big one.
At that corner.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Jonah, I was talking to Jonah the other day, and I was watching one of Jonah's Instagram streams, and there's this little boy and girl, brother and sister from somewhere over in England. They were telling Jonah, like, he's bringing people in on his Instagram for a quick minute or whatever. And they pop in. They got to be, I don't know, 5 and 7 or 6 and 8 or whatever, young, you know, and they got the little accent and it's awesome. And they're like, Jonah, we love your album. And I like looked at Jonah. I was like, target market, dude. Start 'em young, dude. You know, like, but anyway. So yeah, this is the tune. Like I said, working title, maybe the title, When the Medicine Runs Out. I'm just going to play it from the top. We'll see if it plays from the top all the way down. Played earlier. And this is where I left it. And then we will do a little mixing, do a little hanging. As always, we all kind of enjoy the chat thing and the talking thing just as much as mixing. Always happy to answer any mix questions or do some work or whatever, but kind of just as happy to shoot the shit in the chat. So any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. I'm going to spin this thing from the top. We're going to hope to God it doesn't shut down halfway through. I'm going to just make sure that, like, you know, this is all cranked up and give us the best chance at getting through this in one shot. We'll turn the loop playback off. We don't really need him. Don't know if that matters. Without further ado, my demo of When the Medicine Runs Out by me.
Shiver shake, but there's no breeze. It's like this cold is coming from inside of me. Sometimes it takes letting me leave, just empty space where my heart used to be. Did you shape me? Did you break me? Finally make me see what I got now. Things a lot now, looks a lot like me. Hold on tight. It's gonna be one long night. You and me, we've been running on borrowed time. If we bust our luck and play our conscience right, should I just enough? We should make it through tonight. Thought about it on the drive back. Thought about it way too fucking long. Pumping through me like a heart attack. Skipping beats, forgetting words to songs. Yeah, you got me, really rocked me, turn my insides out. Now the real me doesn't feel me when the medicine runs out. When the medicine runs out. Hold on tight. It's gonna be one long night. You and me, we've been running on borrowed time. If we bust our luck and play our conscience right, should I just enough? We should make it through tonight. Sun-filled morning, I drove alone. Sign no warning. The last time I'd be the Hold on tight. We're gonna go one last time. You and me, we've been running on borrowed time. If we press our luck and play our conscience right, we should have just enough to make it through. Just enough to make it through tonight. Just to make it through
All right, so there it is. You know, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. You need my PayPal, Diane? I'll get that right over to you. Someone asked, what was your goal when you sat down to write this song? Where did it start? Started right here in this chair. My goal was, like I kind of was saying, it had been so long since I've really kind of tried to sit down and actually write it, write something top to bottom and fill in lyrics and the whole thing. The goal was really just to see if I could still do it or how hard it would be for me to do it, which is why, like I said, I gave myself 24 hours. I started late. One night, probably 11 or 12 at night. Started coming up with, the music. I had some melody. I had some music. Put down a scratch guitar to a click track. Excuse me, maybe 2 scratch guitars. And then that same night, late night, stayed up late. Started writing lyrics. Got to a point where I'm like, okay, I think I've written all the lyrics. So I got up early the next morning. I think I went to bed at 3 that night, maybe even 4, whatever, late. Got up at 9 or something the next morning and was like, okay, well, 24 hours. I started last night at midnight or 1 or whatever, so I better get cooking. So I came downstairs at like literally 9:30 in the morning or something with a cup of coffee in hand and started playing drums and, and then was like, oh shit, this arrangement's not quite right. Started tweaking it, whatever. By 3 o'clock the following night, or whatever it was, 24 hours, 26, 7 hours, maybe it was all said and done. By the time I went to sleep the next night, it was done. And I didn't come back to it. I didn't change lyrics. Didn't want to. It was more of an experiment than anything. And again, I don't know what this is for, other than just good exercise for me. The old Attention band may re-record this at some point. We may not. This might be it. We might mix it. You guys might hear it, and then it might just go into my archives of.
And then the checks start rolling in.
Right. I might sell it to some young boy band or something who wants some good rock in their lives, and I'll just sit back and cash the checks. Let them go do the work. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't really much more thought than that. It was just to make sure I still could do it or see how hard it was going to be for me to do. I wanted to give myself some constraints, and I did. And it was weird. I mean, I haven't sang a lead vocal in years, I sing backgrounds with the band a little bit or whatever, but I don't sing that much anymore. That was difficult to do vocals. They're not great. They're fine, Again, didn't have a lot of time, and it's not like this is coming out on a major label or I got A&R guys breathing down my neck. It's kind of
We'll see.
This is for me. Right. I mean, once Brad takes it and runs, I probably will have A&R guys breathing down my neck. But at this point, I'm so bored with this pandemic that I would love to hear from some asshole A&R guy just for someone to talk to. But yeah, so that's the tune. We're going to do a little mixing, and we're going to answer questions and hang out. Billy's in the house. Billy, I saw that you posted the other night that a couple days ago was a 20-year anniversary of the first time Attention played down in Mankato at the What's Up Lounge, which is Billy's stomping grounds and where 2 of our guys, Jeremy Burgo and Dave Jarnstrom, kind of grew up and went to college and went to that crappy strip club a bunch of times, I'm sure.
That
Metlers.
hockey team's rolling right now, man.
And Billy, who's in the chat, has an Attention tattoo. I'm only aware of 2 people on Earth that have an Attention tattoo. I'm one of them, and Billy's the other one. So there you go. Big ups to Billy. Was this the quickest time you used to write a song? If not, what was the quickest amount of time you've written a song? I have written a couple songs quicker than this. It's like that thing. The best way I can put it is a way that I heard Tom Petty put it, which is sometimes they just fall out of the sky. And if the song is 4 minutes long, it takes you 8 minutes to write it or something. That's happened to me only a couple times. A couple songs kind of specifically. There's one that was on an EP. It was like kind of the first EP that Attention put out with the new lineup. We went out to California and recorded a bunch of songs, and then we tacked this kind of little acoustic-y kind of ballad song on the end. It's called Raise Your Glass. I wrote that in an hour one night, did a demo, everyone liked it. We then re-recorded it, but the writing, the lyrics, the whole structure, and again, it's real simple, kind of a ballad, kind of an acoustic-y song. But yeah, I wrote that one really, really quickly. There's been a handful where that's happened. I don't know how that happens. That happens when you don't sit down and try. It just happens. This was sitting down and trying. And I don't know how long the writing took. I think I wrote all the lyrics the first night, which that was, once I had the lyrics, it was like, okay, cool, I can do this. Because for me, the lyrics have always been the hardest part. I could write and record music all day long. I could put an arrangement on it. I could give you a 3.5-minute song with verse, chorus, bridge, double chorus, outro. I know how the building blocks work. I could literally write and record music all day long. But to write the melody, to write a lyric that's not, to write a lyric that doesn't suck or that you don't think sucks, it's hard to write lyrics and judge yourself on it, figure out how much you want to talk about or not talk about. I often find out what my songs are about 5 years after I wrote them. I feel like all of a sudden they make sense to me later, but this is not the fastest one that I've ever written, but again, for a 9-year hiatus or whatever it was, I was pretty stoked that I was able to crank something out in 24 hours. So with all that said, I'm going to do a little mixing, and please feel free to keep asking questions. I'm going to turn off the vocals like I always do. I'm probably going to start with the drums like I always do. So thanks for hanging out. We'll do some mixing. Keep hitting us with those questions. Questions for Brad and Joe or anybody, let us know. Like I said, we love chatting. We're finding out that we like chatting as much or more than working. And it seems like the feedback that we get from folks is they enjoy the show most kind of when we're freestyling, when we're talking shit. And, the learning part's cool, but that's only for certain folks. Anyone can listen to a bunch of dudes joke around and talk about old times and blah, blah, blah. So whatever. Ask questions if you want. I'm going to get to work a little bit. Time to hear the drums. I'm going to go right to the chorus and just loop a chorus. Often when I'm starting a mix, I'll loop a chorus, usually the last chorus, because that's kind of maybe where like the most elements are happening. I like to kind of maybe get everything working in the biggest point, because then the smaller points are easy. Sometimes you get something working in the nice small verse, and then you get to the chorus and there's just way too much shit going on. What advice would you give a songwriter who is second guessing their abilities? I would tell you this. Every songwriter second guesses their abilities, no matter who they are. I'm sure often Tom Petty would have been afraid to show Campbell a song because he wasn't sure if it was great. I think that's true of everyone. Most singers don't love their voice. Most songwriters are self-conscious about their songs, I would say just know that that's everybody. That's natural. You worry about it because you care. That's a good thing. So I would say you can and always will second guess, but the smart thing to do is to recognize that and push through anyways, and if it doesn't come out great, it's okay. You get it done. You go to the next one. That's the game. You keep building. These questions are rolling in. I love it. We're not even going to fucking play this track tonight and again that'll be fine with me. To get a bass idea, lyric, and all those in 24 hours, that's incredible. It's a catchy tune. Love the little picking guitar part in the bridge right before the solo. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
What part is he talking about?
Don't know. We'll find it. We'll go through it and find it. I don't know. He heard a little guitar part in there right before the bridge that he dug. We'll find it. When he started writing, were you ever really discouraged? I'm just starting one of my songs. Yeah, I'm often discouraged, especially if it doesn't start happening quick, But I don't know. I got lucky with this one. I don't think I ever really hit a wall with this one. It was kind of like the scared part was, shit, can I do this? And then it started coming together. A couple lyrics hit. I remember being outside. I had the music down. I went outside with the dog late night, had a cigarette, and it was really cold out. And then for some reason, that first line, shiver, shake, but there's no breeze. It was like, that just hit me while I was on the porch, that's my first line. Okay, now I have something, you know what I mean? Now I got something. I got something to go on. If I have a first line, now I can write a second line. Or, it's just, you got to start somewhere. I don't know. Like I said, I got lucky. I did not get super discouraged on this one. This one started, and I didn't let it stop until 24 hours was up, and I got to what I could call completion or a finish line. So, but often it happens. I've got, that said, I've got an iTunes folder with a zillion songs that never got finished because I got it. Like I said, I got a bunch of music together, and it came time to hit that lyric or that melody, and I just didn't hear it. Or the stuff I did hear, I didn't like and didn't want to show to anyone. Or the stuff that I did, I showed to someone and they didn't like. So I was like, shit, okay, this sucks, and then I bailed out. It happens. It happens both ways. I feel fortunate when I get all the way through one without hitting a big wall. Doesn't always happen that way. Often it is very difficult, but you just got to keep doing it because that's what we do. That's right. I turned loop playback off. We're going to have to turn that back on. That is a good line, Diane. Joe's jealous. He was like, I could use that line.
Yeah, man. Great line.
Sometimes, I mean, again, it's like, there you go. There's a line. Now put another one. Build. It's a starting point. That's all you need. Joe's asking me about metering. I don't know the answer, so we're gonna look.
Click it. No, on the meter, on like the.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's a classic.
Pro
one.
Tools Classic.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we got to ask KJ about this because I was talking to KJ. There's like, Pro Tools has different metering. So we recorded a thing over there. Snare drum doesn't peak over there. I play it back over here. Looks like it's smashing.
Yep.
It's got to be a metering situation.
It definitely is.
I don't know.
Yeah, what's right and what's I have no idea.
I don't know either. Checking out the thing. Yeah. Thanks for hanging in the stream tonight, everybody. Love it.
So funny, man.
How do I know what I'm looking for? Often I don't. It's true. So many options that I was asking Joe, I'm like, where the fuck is the plugin I'm looking for? Like, I just couldn't remember where it was. I do have a lot. I don't have as much as a lot of people. I have more than I use. I certainly have my go-tos. I occasionally like to dig back through and try out some other stuff, but I kind of have my go-tos so that, I kind of know what I'm looking for more or less at this point, but some guessing games involved. This, for anyone that wonders what this sound is, that is what I do. I leave all the doors in the basement open. I put a microphone literally on my kitchen table all the way upstairs, and I record the kitchen for ambience. I've actually found a better way to do that with just a different microphone selection or whatever. That was not this one, but I record the drums right in this room, as you've seen probably before, and this room is treated to be a control room. So even if I set a mic all the way over here, which is I don't know, 12, 15 feet-ish from the drum set, it doesn't sound distant. It just sounds like a close mic with a little bit of delay on it because there's really no reflections in here. And I really like a roomy sound sometimes. I had a second room off my old drum room at my old studio in St. Paul.
That room sounds
And
so
that,
good.
right, we would just leave it open. It was all drywall. We never put any paneling up because we wanted it to be as lively as possible. There was 2 doors between the drum room and that one. We would try, we would literally start putting tape on the floor. You could figure out, like, okay, you could close this door and then open this door a little bit and it sounds a certain way. Or open both doors all the way and it sounds a certain way. Or open both doors but only, 6 inches each door and that room sounds a certain way. And we always would have 2 microphones in that room recording a distant drum sound. And it really was like the key to my drum sound for a long time. So when I moved home and started putting room mics down here and realized, like, shit, this doesn't work. It doesn't sound like that. I was like, I gotta get some distance. Joe and I tried putting a mic on the other side of the basement. There's just too much shit over there. It's just noisy over there. There's a freezer. There's, appliances. If the heater comes on, it's over there. Too noisy. So I figured out, run a super long cable up to the kitchen. Microphone right on the kitchen table. It now goes on the kitchen table. It used to go on the floor, but what we quickly found out, so Ian Prince was over here one night working on the Jonah record. Some of you have seen Ian fill in for Michael. He plays with Soul Asylum occasionally. He was over here playing drums. We had the room mic at the top of the stairs, not on the table, and Ollie decided he was going to take a nap right there. So, like, we both got headphones on, and all of a sudden it's just like, we're just like, what the hell? And then some truck drives by and all of a sudden Ollie's barking like crazy and it's like, oh shit, so now we don't really monitor that mic that much because you never know what might be in that mic. But yeah, I love a distant mic. So this is my kitchen table mic. We call it the hall. I call it the hall because that's leftover. I used to always call it the hall at the old studio.
Well,
I could call it the kitchen now.
What microphone?
I don't know what this was. This probably was a 414.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Probably. I don't know. My new thing is I still use the 414 up there, but I've at some point realized, like, I was just leaving it in cardioid and throwing it on the kitchen table. Cardioid, for those who don't know, is like a real tight pattern. It doesn't pick up anything from, like, this mic is called super cardioid. So it doesn't pick up really much back here. It just wants to know what's here. A 414 has a bunch of different polar patterns. So you could do what's called hypercardioid, real close. Cardioid, a little bigger. There's figure 8, which means it's looking at this, nothing on the sides, and then looking at a little bit on the back. This microphone has one capsule. A C414 essentially is a dual-sided capsule. And then there's a setting called Omni, where it's like a ball. It's like, if you look at the microphone, it's listening to essentially every direction. I figured out that if I throw that same 414 on the kitchen table in Omni, it gets way more ambient, as it should. I don't know why it took me so long to try it. As soon as I did it, it was kind of like, awesome. I finally kind of got my distant mic thing back. This is before that, but whatever. That's the point I'm making, I guess. think I did actually record a room mic in this room at this point. So I'll show you. This is probably the Royer. I would assume it was the Royer, which is kind of moved, but I will turn everything off. This is what the room mic, which is probably right around this neighborhood. So again, 10, 12 feet away from the drum set. Not a whole lot of ambience, as you're about to see. A little bit, but, you know, a glorified cymbal mic. Don't really need more of that. I might try to use them, though. We'll see if we can get a little something out of them and blend them in there. So just immediately going for high end and trying to get rid of it, filtering off the top, sucking out kind of 3K and up, just trying to get some cymbals out of there. It's like you don't really ever need to reinforce cymbals. Pretty much they're in every mic all the time. They're usually too loud everywhere. Engineers love to complain about how drummers overhit their cymbals because most drummers do. Not all, but most. It adds a little bit of ambience, not a ton, but you know we'll try to use it because we printed it, and it's a super nice microphone, you know. So we got to use it. Super crunchy bass once again. All the bass, all the guitars, all through my Line 6 HX Stomp. I truly believe for just kind of getting it done and being able to move quickly and get sounds quickly, and for the price. I mean, there's a lot of great shit out there, Kemper, Fractal, blah, blah, blah. That little HX Stomp is a powerhouse for $500 or whatever. It's awesome. I couldn't, you know, whether you need it for the amps or just the effects or whatever, if you're a guitar player or recording guitars at home and don't want to have big, loud amps, like, the thing is super killer for the money. Can't say enough good things about it. Line 6, where's that endorsement at? Diane's asking about microphones. Sorry, started doing a little zone in there. Could you recommend a mic for my fancy MacBook Air Studio? A good, not totally beginner mic. So, do you have some type of interface, Diane, or does it need to plug directly into the Mac? Because that will probably wildly change what I recommend. If you have just a regular interface where you're using an XLR microphone cable, then there's a lot of stuff. If you're plugging in kind of like USB or something else, maybe Joe knows better than I do at that point. I'm not super hip to like.
Yeah, the
but
USB
again,
world, there's some stuff.
Right.
The blue like Yeti or whatever is a really popular one. I don't think they make them anymore, but you can still get them. And then the new Shure, like, is it the MV7?
Oh, right. It was like the pod. It's basically like
It's
a new and improved version of this.
It looks like an SM7.
And is that just a like a USB?
Yep.
That would
USB
probably
mic.
be the go-to.
Yeah, that's
then.
what I would do.
The MV7 or something.
I think it's the MV7.
Do not have an
or the
interface, but I'm
MV77
looking
or
into one.
something.
There's also like, especially if you're not recording a bunch of inputs, Diane, which are not like there are a lot of really nice little 2-channel interface boxes. Focusrite makes one. You can find them used for like $100 or something, right? They got a nice powerful headphone out. They got 2 microphone preamp inputs. That might be a good option. But yeah, if you don't want an interface or don't have an interface, that new Shure, I believe it's the MV7, which is like, it's kind of geared towards podcasters, but it's a great vocal mic. It's essentially a new version of this guy, which is an SM7. So I have not used that one. I know John Fields has one. So if it's cool enough for Fields, I'm sure it's probably pretty cool, because he would ditch it right away if it sucked. Kind of thinking about a snare sample on this one. We'll see. I don't do that much. We haven't done that on the old stream, but maybe we'll put a snare sample on this thing tonight. Let's do this. We got our guitar bus off. We're going to go through and mute all the guitars so we can turn our guitar bus on and start bringing these guys back little by little. Message me a few options. Absolutely will do that. Got a little bit of a wonky loop going. Kind of bugs me. Doesn't really matter. Why is it? That's why. Just doing a thing there. I was talking to Joe. I think a lot of people sometimes will just grab an EQ and go, cool, that's the one. I did this. I grabbed this EQ. I kind of, even though there's a lot of EQs here, I kind of know, or I don't always know, but in this case, I knew what I wanted to go for, which is like distortion guitars. I like to find something in the 1.5K range and just kind of juice it. So I grabbed this one and I did it. I went a little further than this at first, but I really could hear the Q or the bell of this EQ. So it was a little like, I don't know. So then I took a different EQ. This one you can't, it's either or here. So I couldn't set this to 1.7 to match it, but this is 1.5. This was 1.7. Kind of same deal. Looks like I got about 3 dB of lift on that one, and went just a little further, just about 4 on this one. And then, so you have you have 2 different EQs kind of doing the same idea, and then you just kind of bypass each one and go like, all right, which one's better? Me and Joe immediately thought that this one beat this one, so goodbye. This one's out of here.
To that point, just for anybody who's a super nerd, Sound on Sound did a cool little EQ, when to use what EQ and why kind of article they just put out.
I think I saw that, how to choose the right EQ or whatever.
Yeah, and it was, it's kind of all the stuff but like...
I did not read it.
It's you don't need to. It's everything you already
That's
know.
what I'm talking about. I don't need to read that shit. I'm a goddamn professional over here. Just look at me.
Throw that word around pretty loosely here.
Real loosely. All right, so we like that. This is a pair of these. Probably just going to go ahead and just ding, put it on both, and then maybe we'll change the frequency. Maybe we'll crank it up to 2.3 on this one or something, but I'm going to just check these out, see if the EQing helps. I got them solo. These are the heavy chorus guitars. That mid-range aggression just brings them forward in a nice way. It will help them cut across, cut over the bass. Where can I find the mixing Bible? Is there one? I don't know. We should write one.
That's how we'll get rich, dude.
I like it. Well, we need a good name. What's the name?
Ooh, the Mixing Bible.
There you go.
Diane already came up with the name.
You owe Diane royalty points on it.
Yeah.
All right, Chorus 3 also has a Chorus 3 Extra, which I'm going to assume is just thickening even more. So kind of a similar tone, but playing lower notes. We decided we'd give the old Waves SSL channel a little bit of love because ever since we got those Plugin Alliance ones, pretty much just never use this guy anymore. But he's still totally useful. I just think the Plugin Alliance ones do it a little better. But again, even though these Plugin Alliance have this thing where you can randomize these, I often forget to do this. You can randomize them. Theoretically will help frequencies not continue to stack up. But it's the same plugin, so it's going to stack up on some level. So even though this is a different version of the same tool, it's kind of nice to maybe spread it out a little bit because this will not stack up the way the other ones do. Sometimes you use the same plugin across a zillion things. The character of that plugin starts to kind of compound on itself, and you just start to hear too much of that. So, even though, again, same concept, same channel, same E-Series, SSL, different maker, so it's just going to react a little differently. So I'm going to just throw it on there. Why not? We got to show it some love. Just because we got a new one doesn't mean we don't like the old one. So now these are also playing in the chorus. The other ones are kind of more octavey. These are full chords. I tuned the guitar to like a special tuning for this. As I recall, I believe the B string got tuned up to a C. Maybe
like that move.
I think that might be it. It might have been a drop D on the bottom and then a C where the B is, actually. I did some weirdness. Kind of a hybrid. There's a band from Milwaukee called The Promise Ring that used a very specific tuning that was like, I think it was E, A, C, G, C, E. It's weird, but
What?
all of their songs are, or not all, but a hell of a lot of the songs are in that tuning, and I love that tuning because I loved that band. So this was a little different. I believe this was D, A, D, G, C, E, I believe is what the tuning on this one is. One of those things I'll forget in a while, and it'll be like Sonic Youth. I'll be like, how the fuck do you play this? It's like, if you don't know the tuning, you can't play the song. Not totally true. You didn't need to do this on this song, but I liked having, the song is kind of based in C, so I liked having that B string tuned up to C because I could kind of just like, no matter what chords I was playing, I could have those strings kind of just droning and they would stay in key. What's up, Al? Good to see you, man. We were talking about you today. Joe was saying that he, much like myself, has noticed that old Al is buying some equipment over at the Crow's Nest.
We've been creeping.
Yeah. If you're a local musician and you need a cool place to practice, reach out to Al. I've never been there, so it feels stupid that I'm pumping it, but I've seen photos. I need to go over there.
Sounds like a What's That Noise field trip to
There
me.
we go.
Ooh, what's that
We're
noise
coming with
field
the
trip to
camera.
Al's? I like it. That's why Brad makes the big bucks.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I have a guitar tuning question for you.
Okay.
We were just talking about this. Do you remember? I think I can't remember what Jimmy song it is, but off of shit. Now I can't remember that. There's like, is it where you put the G down to an A?
Jim does a lot of stuff. I don't know
that?
specifically. I know that I know they use DADGAD a lot.
Yeah, I know they do that one a lot. There was one, man, where they
G down to A, I don't know. I know
G
Motion
down to A
City.
with the drop D, but then also the G string down to an A or something.
I know Josh Motion City would often drop A to G,
Yeah,
I believe,
Yeah.
and then he had
tuned a couple of those.
a whole thing going there. Come on by. All right, Al, we're gonna do it, man. Joe's half vaccinated. I'm gonna be getting vaccinated soon, but we can mask up. We can do the thing. I would love it. I need to see that place. Al's awesome. Al's an awesome drummer. I tried to get him to join my band once. He told me no, but I get it.
We get it.
I totally get it. No hard feelings. Love that, Al. I think this had a little bit of chorus on them. I hear something on there. I don't remember. Like I said, I often don't. I don't like to save a million patches in the HX. I like to just get new sounds every time. So I couldn't really go in there and tell you exactly what I used because I didn't save it. But probably some pitch shifting on there. It looks like a little bit of chorus. Malmberg is the first song I wrote in 9 years or something like that. Looks like I wrote a little automation on my late night situation, which is fine. That rhymes. Automation situation.
To yourself.
You know, I was doing like a little late night mix situation because I wanted to send this off to people like you and Brad, essentially. So I had to do something.
Had to clean it up.
But that automation is kind of bumming me right now just a little bit. Or maybe not. Maybe it's okay. But what I'm going to do is I just want a little more out of these main guitars. So I'm going to turn them both up with the automation. Just globally, I'm going to give them not
Dude, I've
even
always,
a dB.
I hate that about I wish you could use the fader to bump the automation. You know what I mean? That would be nice.
If you had HD, you could use trim,
Oh, I
volume trim.
suppose. Yep, true.
But you do not.
But I don't.
But he doesn't. Were you just feeling it? Yeah, kind of, man. Someone said you should write a song, and I said, okay, you're right. And I did. We got most of our chorus guitar elements in there. Essentially, this, like I said earlier, this is a demo. I didn't put a lot of stuff on this. But even a little bit of stuff for me is a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So, you know, I just don't know how to take it easy. I don't know how to take it easy. I don't know how to not put a pile of tracks on stuff. So, chorus is kind of happening. Still thinking about that snare sample. Just seems like maybe you could use it. I was kind of playing like a wuss that day. I can hear it.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, so now I'm going to just zing back to a verse and get these verse guitars on. I often break this stuff up pretty well. So all the stuff that I just worked on in the chorus, none of that stuff plays in the verses. All different stuff, all over here. We got to turn the toms on. The toms sound super wimpy because they're not on right now. What's not on? No rack and floor yet. Haven't worked on them, but we're just going to turn them on. Haven't turned the hi-hat mic on. Doesn't seem like we're going to need to.
what mic would be the kit mic on this recording? 441 or 414?
I don't know because things have changed so much. We did a little crotch mic
There's
shootout.
no way you have a note about it.
Maybe.
No way. Oh!
Yeah, it just says it just tells me where it comes in though, aux chain. So I,
mean,
don't
I'm
know.
surprised to see that much information. In
That's
there, though.
because the only reason that is because I at some point made. Oops, I'm just clicking all over. I made myself a drum template and I put the notes in the template.
Gotcha.
So anytime I cut drums here, I don't have to go like, okay, create 10 new tracks or whatever. I just bring in the tracks. And I have updated the notes since I changed those microphones and stuff. So, you know, there's a little bit of note taking. But if I had to go in and manually do it, there would have been 0 notes there. You know that. Funny, I was really thinking snare sample. Now that I hear the verse, I like the snare, but I feel like maybe the snare's getting a little beat up in the chorus. There still could be a snare
Just drop
sample.
a sample into there.
Could do that too. You know,
Probably got the
watch
dog
out.
right behind you.
The dog sometimes sits behind me, and if I roll out, I like
His
roll
nose
over.
is like 2 inches from the wheel, bro.
Yeah, nice
Don't want
work,
you to hurt.
dog. Nice work, Ollie. What are we
That was in
talking about?
Albuquerque?
Diane's in Albuquerque. Yep.
Man, New
Coming up?
Mexico,
Come-
surprisingly beautiful there.
I
A lot
wouldn't
of
have
people
known.
sleep
It's
on
like
it.
I've seen Diane in almost every city but Albuquerque. So I may not have put that together. I think I knew that. I don't think we've really played Albuquerque. I don't know.
You'd be
But
cute.
I've seen Diane in a lot of other cities. We got to get this one going. I like to call this guitar I called Baroom. And you will see why. I'm going to solo it because it goes Baroom. I mean, that's the right title for that track, right?
No question.
That part is that's a big part of this song for some reason is that Baroom. We got to turn that way up.
I like it though. I like it a lot. You got to get it in there.
We got to crank him way up. Is there automation on him? Could be because he appears in some spots. He's probably turned up on the end. Yeah, there's automation. So we're just going to go ahead and, we'll start at the second verse because that's where I am. We'll work our way backwards. Sometimes I like to work backwards as far as like the size of sections. I like to work on the bigger stuff first and then work my way back to the smaller sections because, again, I said earlier, like sometimes you get so zoned in on like, okay, let me get the first verse rocking and everything is sweet, and then it's like there's nowhere to go when you get to the chorus. So sometimes you build from the big to the small. We gotta turn that way up. Listen to that delay. Joe just asked a good question. I'll show you. Mostly all Echo Boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe was wondering how that sound happened. Mostly this guy. So I'll solo him again. We're turning the Echo Boy off. That's all she does. And then I decided that I wanted it to just kind of bouncing over and over. So we turn this guy on. Half note, just a little extra wide. I got the dual echo thing going so that the repeats sound wide. The first one's in the center. Baroom, baroom, baroom. You know, get into it.
Boom, bro.
I think that's Dees for there. Let's see what's happening first verse. Probably take a little bit more. This little guitar overdub here, I titled it Everclear. Kind of like a faux pas, but it sounds like Everclear to me. I forget the name of the song. There's a song that I really dug on So Much for the Afterglow. I think it's called like Bethamphetamine, something like that. You know what I'm talking about? You guys like that record?
That was a great record.
Something at night, but they call her amphetamine. Anyway, there was like this guitar part in there. I kind of wrote this little part for this, and it reminded me of that. So I changed it over here, called it High Guy. But when I tracked it, I called it Everclear. I put a capital C, no copyright infringement.
That's right.
This is what it does.
It sounds like.
Total So Much for the Afterglow kind of sound. Brad said the name of that song is just Amphetamine. I think that's kind of where that idea came from. Just, you know, full disclosure. I met Art a couple times. He was real prickish to me. I'm just going to say that much.
But he's got a reputation, and honestly, kind of why I stopped listening to them, which is too bad because frankly, the songs from an American movie records were like I love those.
Sure.
Records, man.
So I met Art the first time when I was really young. Really young, 15, 16.
That's
He was in Madison producing. So I've told other stories around Smart Studios before, but I grew up kind of in and around Smart Studios, which was owned by Butch Vig. At some point, like I said, around when I was 15, 16, must have been 16, I was driving, 16, 17 then. He produced a band called Frog Pond, all-girl band, all-girl kind of indie rock, punk band. Super cool. Super cool band, super cool girls. He was kind of a prick. I don't know, just the way it was. And it's funny. And then years later, me and E-Dog, who most people on the stream don't know, a couple people do, you guys know, we did Backline for Everclear. Once again, total prick. Now, fast forward to a couple years ago, I'm playing with Soul Asylum. All of a sudden, he's pretty nice to me. Like,
dude.
Yep.
Very short. So, what a common person that we all know. I don't want to share on the street.
Fair
'cause
enough.
I'm
Fair
not
enough.
trying to like
Yeah,
throw
that's
any
all right.
shade, right? But somebody that we all know who's kind of a fucking prick worked with Art
Okay.
and complained about how big of a prick he was. So like.
You got out pricked.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody who's a dick is talking about how you're a dick. You're a dick.
Right.
Like,
You're
I
a
don't
double
know
dick.
how else to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
So Art, if you're in the chat,
Yeah.
right.
speak up.
Come at us.
Now,
bro.
I mean, for you know, all that said, I've heard. I mean, Art has obviously gone through some health stuff over the years. I've heard that he's mellowed out quite a bit. I think he was a little fired up back in the day. I also think there may have been some drug use and stuff involved. That's no
Everybody's-
longer
I
the
mean,
case.
we talk about it all the time, dude. Stephen Jenkins.
Like I
his
said,
history,
last couple
love
times I
those
saw
guys.
him, whether it's just because he's mellowed out, whether it's because maybe in his eyes I have a little more credibility as a part of the Soul Asylum camp and not just some young kid who's like interning at the studio or a backline guy or whatever. Whatever it is, last couple times I saw him, he was totally super nice. But I'll never forget those first couple times, and he was not super nice. And I'm not talking shit. I'm just telling you how it was. So, you know, take it or leave it. I still like his records. All that said, I still like his records. I don't have to like you as a guy to appreciate your music. Just don't. I almost. Sorry, we'll wait. Sorry there, Baroom guitar. I didn't realize you still had that.
Star of the show now.
I almost want. How difficult would it be for you, Brad, to pull up that amphetamine song and I just want to hear. I didn't like reference it when I did this, but I would love to hear if that sound is kind of in there. We can't do it on the stream. We'll get YouTube up.
Oh, we could do.
On the phone.
We
I could
do
pull
a
it up
little
here
bit of
too.
this.
Let me just hear just a little bit.
A little fuzzier, but like
Right, there it is. It's a different key and everything,
yeah,
but
it's like the same.
Yep.
Same vibe.
hi, it's not quite time for you yet. It's not 10 o'clock.
Well,
That's-
for sure,
yep.
YouTube now.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted to make sure I was indeed thinking of the right song, which I was.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So it's a lot higher and a lot fuzzier, but that kind of note concept. I played it clean and different, put the Tapero on it, so I wasn't just totally stealing Art's thing, but inspired by Art, full disclosure. All right, then we got V2 chirp guitar. I don't even remember what this is. Let's find out. He wants some EQ. I'm just going to have to mute this Baroom or I'll never be able to talk because this is going to be echoing the whole time. Okay, so he needs an EQ. People earlier have said, like, you have so many options. How do you know what to choose? Good question. Let's pick something to EQ this guitar that I like very much never pick, which there's not a ton of things I don't like. Let's see. This, I don't think I ever used this. This is like a pedal, I believe. Bang. Let's try him out. Don't hate it. Hearing some weird high end in that verse 2 part. What was that? This part. I'm hearing stuff. Gotta turn off the guitars. Weird. It's literally just me keeping time on the hi-hat with my foot. I can hear it. I got so much high end added to these overheads right now, and probably just compression and limiting and everything else that I can hear that. So again, wanted to do the demo thing, didn't want to impart a ton of stuff on the other guys, so like I'm just playing rhythm guitars in the chorus. There's no like, I did add like, the little Everclear guitar, the little, some things to get the general point across. The Baroom had to have him. But like didn't play any counterparts in the chorus because theoretically someone else would be playing some guitars on this, and I don't want to paint them into a corner or get married to my thing and be like, you got to do that thing because that was on the demo. There's a thing called demoitis, and that shit is real. You got to break that habit. It's easier said than done. I say it to people on other music all the time when I'm working on someone else's stuff, and they go like, "Oh, it used to go like this," and I'm always like, "I don't give a shit. How does it go now?" You know what I mean? Like, we're working on it now. I don't care about what you did at home before. If it's super important, we'll check it out. But if we can beat it, screw what you did before. Like, let's beat it. But that said, like I said, that's easy for me to say when it's other people's music. If I cook up a bunch of ideas, sometimes I suffer from the demoitis because you get used to something and then you feel like it's supposed to be there. Or if it's not there, you feel like you can still hear it. And I don't know, again, feels like it's supposed to be there. We're moving along. Let's see. We got a couple of different bridge guitars that are not yet in there. Let's peek at them. Don't remember what they're doing. All right, there's a big gap in this song, so that's what these are doing. Cool sound, printed in stereo, kind of dreamy. Let's go even more dreamy. Let's reverb it up. I always love Little Plate. Just love this thing. You can do anything. Hello, come on, there it is. You can do a million things with this plugin. It's just great. We got another guy. What's he doing? What's this guy doing? There you go. That was another reason for that weird tuning, was to be able to play that without having to grow another finger, essentially. So I got him panned to the side. I got that reverby thing super washy. I don't like that being in one side. I'm going to do something that I love to do. I put it back in the middle. I set up this delay to open up to a default, this guy right here. So it takes something mono. Ooh.
He's feeling a few pounds lighter, so.
Oh, I didn't even realize Joe split and took the dog out. I was so in the zone. I didn't even know you left.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, dude.
Brad just moved into my spot and
Nice.
started running the stream.
Excellent. Probably looking real tight for once.
Killing it.
So yeah, I've showed this trick before. I'll show it again. Not my trick. Stole it from Eric Valentine. Full disclosure. You take something that is mono and make it stereo by doing 20 millisecond slap. So I have this delay opens up to that. I set it so that if I open this, it starts there. It says JT 20 millisecond slap. So it takes the mono signal, splits it into two. Side left or side one, however you want to think of it, totally dry, so nothing happens. Other side on the right, all the way wet with 20 seconds of delay, or 20 milliseconds of delay. No feedback, no repeats, no nothing. So I'll show you, I'll turn this off and on. So here it is in mono up the middle without an effect. This is the only effect on here right now is this delay. We'll start it this way and then I'll just punch it in. So you theoretically, it gets a little weird on YouTube and stuff, but you should hear it go from right between the eyes to both ears, kind of. Check it out. Love that. Instant stereoizer.
Valentine move?
Eric Valentine move. Yep, 100%. Wow, man. Stream is going really fast tonight. I talked my ass off for like 40 minutes straight at the top there. So we're probably not going to finish this one tonight. In fact, I'm sure of it. But that's okay. Maybe we'll finish it next Tuesday. We're always going, what the hell are we going to? Oh, that's the guitar part Charles heard earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Right on, man. Thanks
yeah,
for
thanks
staying
for
all the
reminding us,
way,
yes.
sticking it out all the way and reminding us.
Charles in the house.
That's what I'm
Charles
talking
in
about.
charge. Sorry.
If we had a mailing list or anything to send out, we'd send you something for being an ace, but we don't.
I'll sing your theme song though, bro.
Oh man, who was with us earlier? Who saw our intro tonight? Who didn't see our intro tonight? We played an attention video, and right after the attention video, we played our brand new. I know, I can't believe it's almost 10. Me either. This one went fast. Usually I feel like, oh man, how are we going to fill 2 hours before we start? And then boom, it's 10 o'clock and we're not even close to done or whatever. So, which is good. That's because you guys are asking great questions and I kind of give long-winded answers and that sidebars us. Again, I know that not all of you necessarily want to watch me like twisty cues. It's fun once in a while, but it's just as much fun or maybe more fun to talk. Or really a combination of both. So, you know.
Is there any better book than Calvin, like book series than Calvin and
You know,
Hobbes?
I'm not really hip. I'm not.
Oh man, that was from my childhood. That was a thing.
Right.
You were about to say something earlier, and we missed it after we were talking about Charles' guitar part. You were talking about the intro. I felt like you were going to talk about.
Oh yeah, I was just wondering if anyone. Oh, Diane didn't get to see it. She showed up late, but you saw us working on it last week. I love it so much. Maybe we'll have to hit him one more time on the out.
I feel like it's only appropriate.
Just hit him.
Intro,
Yeah, right.
outro.
We're real. Yeah, right. It might be. Maybe it is, man. We could do the same one and then just like roll credits on it or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got a feeling we will make this a two-parter because, like, I'm still thinking about a snare sample. We basically got through all of our guitars. We haven't touched any vocals yet. There's a bunch of them, you know.
Stack, dude.
You
Especially
know.
considering like you just whipped this up yourself.
Yeah, but again, like, I'm gonna make a demo and it's gonna be raw and it's gonna be this and that, but it ain't gonna be that raw. I'm gonna make sure I like my vocal. I'm gonna put some doubles. I'm gonna put some harmonies. Again, most singers don't like their own voice. I don't love my own voice. So the more I can layer it and put some shit on it to try to sweeten it up, the better, you know.
I feel like there's an important lesson too. Like you were talking here a little bit earlier about like not wanting to imprint too much on this, right? Which is an important thing. But also,
Right.
one thing I've certainly learned is like the more you can kind of work through a song, the more you get it together, then when it does come time to like really record it, you've got so much of the heavy lifting out of the way that
That's
it can
right.
just be about like making it fun and fine tuning and really leveling it up.
That's
so,
right.
Like, that's really important.
I agree. I've always been a fan of demoing and recording a song a couple of times, because I really do feel like you learn a ton
Yeah.
each time. Excuse me. There's also something to be said for like capturing lightning in a bottle. It's like
Yes.
sometimes the first take is the best take. That's something that I've kind of had to learn.
Like
Over
on
the
the
years.
intro.
I learned a lot. Yeah, right. I mean, that's just the best take, period. Doesn't, you know. But like Michael Bland really helped me learn. That comes with confidence and with just maturity as a musician to be able to, you know,
Just spill out the
to
tape.
just go. All right, man, we're about to do this. You know, like I will tell you, for the fans of Soul Asylum, when we worked on Hurry Up and Wait, that was a quick process. Not a ton of takes, 0 rehearsals before going into the studio. Literally like Perna going, all right, we're going to work on this one next. And we would study it and learn it, maybe do a chart or whatever. Michael Bland is thinking and da-da-da-da-da. And then, okay, it's going to be this tempo. And next thing you know, we're going. And like, especially with Michael, again, who is a seasoned pro, who has learned to trust himself. Sometimes there's only 2 takes. Sometimes there's only 1 take. You know, I remember specifically like a song, he got done with the first pass. First time he's ever played it. First time we've ever played it together. Ryan and I are out in the lounge, crunching, learning, listening to demos, and okay, this is how we're trying to come up with a part. We get done with the first pass ever, and Michael looks up and he's like, you guys want to go again? John, I'm good with that one. If these guys want to play again, like 1 pass, he was done. He nailed it, you know? And then you start to go like, okay, not only can it be done, but Michael is kind of looking at you and rooting for you, but also giving you some of that tough love that you need from a big brother and being able to say like, look, man, if I can do it, you can do it. You just got to focus. It's all about focus. It's all about paying attention. It's all about being in the moment and blah, blah, blah. And like, I've never, ever made a record like that before. Every band I've ever been in, We go to the practice space forever. We play it a million times. We make a demo or 2 demos, and 3 demos, and then practice it more and change shit, and then go into the studio. There's no right or wrong. But again, when you got Michael and Dave, and they have made a lot of records, and they're really good at it, and they trust their instincts. And, Michael has learned over the years, like, I don't have to play a song 15 times to get it right, man. I just don't, and he doesn't. And I think...
I do.
Yeah, so, dude, so often, so do I, man. So imagine, here I am going like, oh shit. Yeah. And Michael's nailing it, and Fields is looking through the glass, nodding his head, going like, come on, dude, you nail it too. I learned a lot quick, man. It's a crash course and how to get after it. And I don't know, I'm proud of the fact that I've seen other people in very similar situations buckle under the pressure. I tried to hang on for dear life, and I think I did, so that, I wear it like a badge of honor. So like I said, you get a little older, you've been playing your instrument or your many instruments, or just doing whatever it is that you do for a long, long time, and you start to have faith in yourself. They're like, yeah, man, I can do this. Sometimes, I was telling Brad, we did a rehearsal for a thing years ago that Brad attended. I don't know if I'll say what it was, but we learned a bunch of different material for one artist, kind of some different bands and blah, blah, blah. And one of the bands was an earlier era of his work. I was familiar with, I had heard it, but I just straight up didn't learn anything before the rehearsals. I did 0 homework because I decided, like, you know what? I think I trust myself enough. I think I've heard those songs enough. I bet you I can just go in there and do it. And I did. That doesn't.
For that to take a turn.
Yeah, I could. I was just about to follow it up real quick with like, that does not always work. And you could hang yourself out to dry really, really quickly. I mean, I suggest doing homework, but I also suggest, like I said, man, just if you can get to a point where you can trust yourself, that's a really great place to be when you don't, not cocky or not confident about like, I know I can do this in one take. It's not about that. It's about knowing like, okay, I don't need to sit down and like punch in and like whittle this out forever. It's not rocket science. There's only so many chords. Again, it comes down to being in the moment and really focusing and paying attention and frankly, not just being so in your head that you're thinking only about what you're doing, but you're listening. And it sounds so simple to say like you're listening, but again, a lot of musicians listen to themselves and they do their best to play along with the band, but they are listening to themselves. When you unlock the thing where you are listening to everybody and not just focused on you, but you as a part of the whole, everything changes. And I'm still learning how to unlock that. I'm still learning how to listen. I'm still realizing sometimes like, wow, I haven't looked at my fretboard in 5 minutes because I'm like looking at the guys and I'm playing. It's just like, I'm in it, often you're doing that. You're making sure you don't want to mess up. It's different. But again, comes with trusting yourself, doing the thing, 10,000 hours, 20,000 hours, every single fucking hour, whatever it is. Like, this is what we do. With that, it's 10:02. This is what we do. I think we'll probably leave this song right here for tonight. We're not going to get any more done in -2 minutes. We probably will just finish this next week.Maybe we'll come up with a little like something else as well. Make a little like, kind of half episode of finishing this. And we've threatened a million times. I really want to start doing like a piece of gear every week. Maybe we'll just put that right after Brad's burner, because I just keep forgetting to do it. I got a zillion great instruments I'm really proud of. Don't come rob me. And I would like to show some of them off just because. So maybe we'll do new segments where it's Brad's burner followed by JT's head turner. You know what I'm saying? That might be the money. But yeah,
It's like show
so
and tell. Can I bring something in?
you sure can,
I
dude.
don't have anything.
Well, right. If you buy something cool, you can bring it over, and then
I'll borrow
leave
your
it
shit,
here.
man. I don't need nothing.
Right. You could borrow it for like a week and then bring it back over here as if it's yours.
Yeah.
Something like that. We'll figure
I
something
think I've
out.
done that
For
before.
a fee.
Yeah.
For a fee. There will be a rental fee.
We'll just dock it from Brad's pay.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, Brad will get you an invoice.
I'll just shuffle some of our money around. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll get Diana PayPal something over. Yeah, with that, man, this 2 hours really flew by this week. I know I was really talking a lot at the top. I was talking about attention. I was setting up this demo. I think we can just go ahead and say, like, we'll finish this one next week because we haven't finished it. We need to. Maybe we'll come up with a little something else to spice it up. I think we figured out that we can show up with, again, trust in yourself. We could show up with no plan and get through 2 hours. We've had it happen a couple times where these, Joe and Brad are on their way over and Brad's texting me going, hey man, what are we going to do tonight? And I'm like, I got no fucking idea, man. Like I've been busy all week. I haven't thought about it. Or the thing I'm working on, I can't show because it's unreleased and I got to dig in. And some of the freestyle ones have been some of our favorite ones. So whatever. We will do this one next week. Maybe we'll do some freestyling. I always like having a guest. Maybe we'll...
Yeah, I do like having guests. I
get-
like all of it.
Maybe we'll get one of our friends or fans just randomly from the chat to just ping in to us. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll do something fun next week.
We're gonna start getting wacky up in here.
Yeah, I think just because we're still just so smitten with it, and probably will be for a while. I think we'll play the intro as the outro one more time in case you missed it. If you're hanging out late with us at 10:05, we'll probably just end on it. We probably don't need to come back afterwards. So I would just like to once again say thanks to everyone who came and hung out in the chat tonight. There were some really great questions tonight. I love answering questions. We all do. We all love to just kind of keep the conversation going and not just, have you guys watching me mix some demo. It's like I'd much rather talk about it or about anything. And if I can help in any way, or if you can help me in any way, I need a lot of help. Feel free to offer. But yeah, so I think that's the word for tonight. And until next week, Joe, what should they do?
Keep it tight.